Hello everybody, this is Science Trainer Gamer, here to take you on the science train where we can game. Recently, I was looking through my pile of old stuff and I had some Pokemon cards and I found that I had this random Charizard. I'm like, I wonder how much this stuff is worth. So I started looking through it and then, Charizard, there's like a bunch of these. There's a bunch of Charizards, but then mine had the word evolutions on it and I'm like, I wonder how much it could be worth. And lo and behold, it was worth quite a bit. And I thought about it. I'm like, finding this card was already like a struggle. It's like, what do I do? Do I sell it on eBay or TCG or whatever? I decided that even though I'm going to take a haircut on the value, I just went to a local card shop because at least that way I can, just kind of guarantee that I'm getting money. And at least with eBay or some of these other TCGs, there's like the tail risk. There's really low chance that somebody's going to contest you and then, might mess you up and stuff. So I don't want to deal with all that. And it's funny because I did sell and the card shop that I went to is actually in here, which is cool. But this got me thinking, what's going on with all these, TCGs and market prices and supply and demand and things. And, just kind of like, just kicking off this market analysis, as people buy stuff, right, they remove from the available supply. And so if you listed higher price, as people buy stuff, that's going to push the price up because you're going to be the only one willing to sell at whatever high price. Vice versa, this has very few listings. But if a lot of people, dug these out of their closets and then this goes to 12, 24, 50, 100, and you want to sell it, then you would price lower, right? Because you want to move your product, and then the price would go down. So that's supply and demand in a nutshell. And so, what's my analysis for Digimon? I think the big thing that people are thinking about is BT6. And so here you can see some pre-sale prices for all the stuff. And I think something that's contributing to this is the delay. So this product was originally supposed to come out in early October, but now it's pushed back, at least for the United States, until mid-November. And oh man, these things are pricey. You want the Agumon Bond of Bravery? $40, right? This is already half the box, right? For one super rare. Not to mention that you're going to get all this other stuff in a box in theory. $24 for a rare, $3 for an uncommon, right? And so I'm not going to be the first person to say this, or the last, but don't buy these products. And I know that some people might think, well, but it was delayed. That must mean there's might be printing issues again, and Delta's coming up. Honestly, I think it's probably going to be more this, right? So at least in the US, there's a backlog of cargo ships in the California ports. And you can imagine that one of these boats is full of the Digimon product and it's taking like weeks to get the stuff into the United States at all. So I don't think it's necessarily a shortage in supply. I think it's just a shortage in the infrastructure and actually moving product into the US. And which would explain why other territories, like other areas, are going to get it before the US is. So I think Europe and Latin America are going to get it first and some other stuff. And so I don't think that there's going to be a supply issue. I just think there's going to be like a logistics infrastructure issue that just over time will naturally resolve itself as things kind of move themselves through the ports, through the rail, through the trucks, etc., etc. And beyond that, I also want to point into some of the cards that are actually in the set, particularly this one. And so this Omnimon is an alternate art, but it is pricey. Apparently, people are saying it's not just, like, oh, one in the box or whatever, or like one in case, but maybe, there's like a quote from Japan where it's like 1 in 20 cases. So, who knows how rare this is going to end up being, but if there's a lot of people that like to have one of every card. And so they're going to be opening tons of these boxes because they want to get this particular Omnimon, right? If it's selling for thousands of dollars here now, right? How many booster boxes can you get with this? But more to it than that. If people are looking for this Omnimon, what are they going to do with all this other stuff, right? The set isn't that big. And so if you're opening, one booster box, 12 booster boxes a case, a dozen cases, etc., how many Manoas are going to pull out? How many Agumons, Gabumons, the bonded ones, level 7s are going to pull out? The answer is going to be a lot, right? And I think what's going to happen is not only are people going to be digging for this card, but that's going to have a byproduct of flooding the market with everything else. And so, just to get a refresh where we are, this is BT5 Battle of Omni, and you know, yeah, your secret rares and your alternate arts are worth quite a bit, but then it goes down really fast. Where your most expensive card, that's just a vanilla super rare, is your Omnimon Zord at $10. And so again, just where is this, right? These super rares are 40. It's not going to stay at 40. Um, from there, what else? Your rares are $24, right? What's the most expensive rare here? And it's not even on this page. You have to go to page 2. Your most expensive rare is going to be Black World Growlmon at like $1, right? So these prices are ridiculously inflated, and they're going to come down, right? Great Legends is the same deal. You have your Lucemon, your chase card, so these are worth money. These are both $60. That's interesting. Anyway, and your other secret rares and stuff. But then from there, right, your most expensive super rare is going to be Chaosmon Valder Arm at $7, right? 40, 7. And then it goes down from there. Your most expensive rare is going to be Izzy at $1.60, right? So I think, and then I don't know, it doesn't help, but an anecdote. This week I went to my local game shop and I saw them get like 4 cases of Great Legend. So I even then I don't expect these prices to hold up just as we're getting more and more product. I think Digimon Bandai have figured it out. They're getting the product out there. It's just you kind of have to work through this backlog, through this like shipping backlog, I suspect, so that we can get it here in the US. And then I think once we do get it here, it's just going to be so much that these prices are not going to be sustainable in any fashion whatsoever. What else? Buying strategies. So I do think something that I run into is that I'll like Battle of Omni is a good example. So Battle of Omni will come out and I'm like, oh, I want to build a Hexablaumon deck because I think that'll do well. Spoiler alert, it's not the best, right? That would be your Lord Nightmon. But anyway, so this would come out and I was like, oh, I need 4 Hexablasts to run this deck. So I would buy, get a booster box to get 1. And then I buy 3 more. And then wouldn't you know it, but a short time later, go to the tournaments, I go to the local game shop, get some more packs. I pop another one. And so now I have 5 Hexablaus. And me going out to buy the single was a little bit of a waste of time. So I think, particularly with BT6, I don't know if there's going to be any meta-defining card. I mean, maybe there will. But it doesn't sound like there is. I think there's going to be some stuff to add, but nothing like super meaty. So I think maybe a better strategy will just be open, just if you buy your booster box, if you're going to buy second, if you're going to go to tournaments, get those booster packs, etc. And buy your singles later, right? So get all of your sealed product first, open that, have fun, good luck looking for this card or whatever else you can find. And then once you've opened up like most of your product, then you can be like, all right, I have 2 ties, I'm going to buy 2 more, right? And hopefully by this point, enough time has passed that, the ridiculous prices have kind of gone down a bit. So I think that's going to be your buying strategy. Open your sealed product first, and then once the prices calm down. So in the US, we're supposed to get these in November, right? So maybe by December, right? Or maybe around Christmas, or if you can wait, even January, right? Like the more you wait, the more these are going to go down. And I wouldn't expect these prices to go up meaningfully until, a year or more as, Bandai puts these out of print and then we start rotating into other sets. Again, this is a market analysis video, so like, what was this doing here? One of the things that help make a product valuable is something called a moat. So how does it protect itself against other competitors? And Digimon's an interesting place because if War Greymon is a popular Digimon, but there's a lot. So BT1 had one, the starter deck down here had one, BT4 had one, and the BT5, there's a BT5 one. There's a BT5 one right here, right? There's a lot of War Greymons, and so I think kind of saying like, oh, I'm gonna get all these War Greymons, or I think I'm gonna, there's gonna be a lot, and beyond that, I think there's gonna be more, right? War Greymons are popular Digimon, and I can very easily see Bandai Digimon making even more once you get to BT7, BT6, BT7. Okay, I guess BT6, BT7 don't have one, but maybe BT8 will, BT9, BT10, right? Like they're gonna make more War Greymons. Maybe they're not even gonna be red. Like, there's a yellow, there's a black already. Wouldn't be out of the question that there's more of those into the future. Where I do think there's something that kind of protects the card is going to be with the first one. So the BT1s, there's only going to be one BT1 War Greymon, like the first set, right? So I think that's going to make these cards long-term more valuable. And then if you're going to pick one, I would pick like the War Greymon Alt-Art. I think long-term that's going to be more valuable. Same deal with the Omnimon, right? Like there's going to, how many Omnimons are there? There's so many Omnimons in the Digimon card game, right? There's so many. But I think the one that's going to long-term keep us valued the most is going to be the first one, alternate art. You can think of this that maybe in 10, 20 years, this will be equivalent to the Charizard of Pokemon, right? The base set. The difference is that instead of a bunch of kids playing this, it's going to be a bunch of adults. So I don't think it's going to be, I don't think it's going to get to 100,000 or anything like that. But it could appreciate, I could see this going to a couple hundred, 5-10 years. That's not out of the question. Depending on how, going back to supply and demand, depending on what the quantity is, because that'll dictate what the price will be. Finally, when I first made my first draft of this video, I had a bunch of stuff on Pokemon, but I'm like, maybe I shouldn't muddy the water. So we'll keep it to Digimon for now. I think I have been thinking about Pokemon since, again, I had this card that was able to flip, kind of flip, quote unquote, for quite a bit. So I do have ideas and thoughts on what to make with all of this. But if you guys are interested, we'll just see it in another video. Thank you guys for watching. I'll link to my eBay page, and I'm just selling a bunch of random stuff. Some Digimon, some Yu-Gi-Oh that are dug out of the closet, and apparently some of that stuff is worth money too. And even some, again, there's, I sold my one Pokemon card to the shop, but I have other stuff that I don't particularly care for at this moment, but maybe you guys do. And so if you want to support me in the channel, go ahead, check those out. Yeah, thank you guys for watching. Have a good one.